Alright, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the Cape Town Sevens final. South Africa in front of the home crowd. They are going head to head up against Argentina, a side that finished dead last week in the Dubai Sevens, but they have fought and scratched and clawed their way to the top here to take on these South Africans who are currently undefeated. 4 wins from 4, looking to make it 5 and get themselves back-to-back titles. But that is in Cape Town. Of course, last week we did see the title go on the way of the Kiwis. They have finished up in 5th, getting 32 points in total on the board. Fiji finished 3rd. They're on 32 points. South Africa, they are on 12. If they win this game, they get 20 points in the overall standings, which would then put it as a 3-way tie at the top of the bunch. Looking through at the starting lineup, first of all for the Blitzboks, it is David Brits, Zane Davids, Impi Visa, Donovan Don, Shilton van Wyk, Selvin Davids, and Ricardo James Duarte, the last man in the starting side. Now, the slightly, well, in fact, I would call it very unfortunate. Tristan Lades unavailable for this game due to that head knock that he did suffer in the semi-final up against the French. It does mean that he is not going to be there, and he's been one of those guys who have held this back line together, but that's where bringing in someone like a Selvin Davids, like a Donovan Don, it still gives you a very strong starting lineup for this final. In the starting lineup for the Argentines, it is Marcos Moneta, and tell you what, there'll be a huge amount of Argentines who are thankful to see that man on the field, mainly because of the fact that he did also go down with an injury in the semis. Matteo Graziano, he is also still there. Santiago Verafeld, Santiago Alvarez, Santiago Mauri. Now, 2 of those 3 managed to get themselves the doubles in the semi-final up against the Fijians. Luciano Gonzalez, he got a yellow card, but also scored a try, so he's had an eventful time. And then Pedro Tejaro, the last man in the starting team. We have got the Argentina, says Ruben. Hello all, says please and tease. And South Africa, they don't know what we know. And so Spain, how do they beat Argentina, says on the right. They played a very good second half of rugby. Well, to be fair, they played a very good first half, I should say. Argentina kind of fired back as the match wore on. But, I mean, Spain, we've got to remember, they are no easy beats. Yes, they may have started a little bit rough, but they are a side that beat all of the top teams last year on the 7 circuits, and that is in the absence of no Paul Pla as well. So that makes it even that much more impressive, but a triple for Trevor Thick also helped the Spanish over the line. I can't wait for this final, says Monet. And also we have got there, go the Blitzboks, says please and tease there. And also Santiago Gonzalez, and also come on Blitzies. I know the Pumas going to be tough, but let me hold your beers. You got this. Says Roger, Argentina for me are the most improved at 7, says DJ. And we've got to remember, Argentina last year, they won the point side of the 7 circuit. They were consistently near the top of the bunch, had a lot of wins along the way. South Africa won the last final leg of the 7s and the championship. So these 2 sides, respective champions from last year, both getting their separate awards. And now it's going to be pretty exciting to see them go head-to-head. They actually faced each other last week in the Dubai Sevens. The score in that game was relatively close, but it was Los Pumas who managed to pull off the win there, 19 points to 14 after an early Marcos Moneta try, a Batak try, and also a Santiago Mauri try coming in there as well. Vamos Los Pumas, and greetings from Mendoza in Argentina. Says Dunny, so it is greatly appreciated. You're tuning in for this one. Box need to prevent Gonzalez. Remember space or breaking tackle, says Rory. Yeah, there are quite a few handy players across this Argentinian side. I would say that Luciano Gonzalez is definitely a massive threat. Marcos Moneta, if he is 100%, he is another one to keep an eye on for. But I do think that for the South Africans, Shilton van Wyk, he has got to be in some of the best form he's ever been in for the Blitzboks team. He scored himself 2 tries in the semi-final. He scored a hat-trick in the opening contest up against the Fijians. That kept the Blitzboks undefeated. We do anthems in the final. We certainly do. So there will be the South African national anthem in front of the home crowd. I would almost guarantee you they will find a shot of Sia Kolisi in the stands for that South African national anthem. That seems like a guarantee at this stage. He is still watching on in the crowd, enjoying the atmosphere of the Cape Town Sevens Stadium. We have got there also got the Blitzboks. I'm on the edge of my seat for a good game, says Maureen there. Hello, everyone. Says Annie, welcome in. And Boomer's got me a bit nervous for this one, says Roger. Yeah, looking through at past form for these 2 sides, starting off with South Africa. They had the win over the Fijians in the opening round of this competition, 24 points to 21 in favour of the Blitzboks. They then beat New Zealand 19 points to 14. Both of those games, last-minute thrillers, which is exactly what you want. Gets you battle-hardened and ready to go for this final here. And then the matchup against Great Britain, just like it was last week in Dubai, Not even close. 41 points to 7 in favour of the Blitzboks, and then beating France in the semi-finals, 22 points to 17. So 3 out of the 4 matches for South Africa have been split by 5 or less. So that is pretty substantial, but just like the men's side in rugby union, whether it's by 1 point or whether it's by 50, they find a way to win. And that seems to be that newfound mentality of the Blitzboks team. They find victories in the kind of jaws of defeat. How long until kickoff, says Roger? So this one's going to be kicking off in only 5 minutes' time. We're actually getting very close. They are just celebrating at the moment for the Cape Town Sevens. For the ladies, the Australians were able to beat New Zealand in the final. So those two sides sit on the same amount of points. And like I described at the start of this one, if the South Africans win this, then New Zealand, Fiji, and South Africa all sit on the same points heading into the next stage of the Sevens circuit. But for the Argentines, they had a 36-0 win over the Australians. They then had a close game up against the French, winning at 24 points to 19, which was a drastic improvement from the week prior, where they were beaten by about the 50 points. Spain then pulled off the win over the Argentines, making it 31 points to 26. And then the Argentines having the win over Fiji, 29 points to 21. So 3 of their games have been split by 8 points or less. 2 of them split by 5, which is honestly a very common scoreline in this one. I think they should let a few box play. At home, Quacker Smith, Peter, Colby, Arinsa, and possibly Grant Williams and Sashi FM. Would it be an Epic Sevens team? It would be, but at the same time, you'd also feel slightly bad for the guys who have been working their backsides off all throughout the year to get the opportunity to play in front of their home crowd. Like, that is an absolute dream for a lot of these guys, and this is actually the first time that they get to do it in some cases. So to ditch them so that you can bring in some guys that haven't been in that Sevens format seems a little bit rough. Don't get me wrong, it would sell out the stadium and would be absolutely incredible, but at the same time, I do like the fact that these men who have been working hard throughout the season get to enjoy and reap the rewards of being in front of a home crowd, feeling what will be probably the biggest cheers that they will hear in between Olympic Sevens periods. And you're recovering from an early Christmas, says Fleshin. And also, hi all, it's been a while. Lando is F1 champion. Hope all as well, says Jean. And also, it's going to be a tougher, guys. May the best side win, says Anva. Yeah, this is going to be absolutely incredible when these two sides collide. Do let me know your score predictions for this game, ladies and gentlemen, as it is very close to kicking off. We have just got the national anthems coming just around the corner, and then we are rearing to go for Los Pumas versus the Blitzboks for the final match of the Cape Town Sevens. The crowd is starting to file in quite nicely, or they have been all throughout the day. No one was leaving early when this match was going to be taking place as the main event. They're just showing the records of these two sides in this competition. South Africa are 4 from 4, and then alongside that, Argentina, they are 3-1 for their current record. We have got the evening Hamish back for the final. Thanks, my friend. Ask the listeners to like and subscribe for the Kiwi Lads numbers, please. Says Joss, yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are back for the next leg of the Sevens. That has taken place in the future. What we will quickly do is we'll click on that one and we'll let you know exactly when that next leg of the Sevens is going to be taking place. While they are just getting ready to go for the next stage. Santiago Mari, they are just talking about the impact that he's been able to have. But the 31st of January is the next leg of the Sevens circuit. That is going to be in Singapore. We will be covering that one on the channel as well. We cover a huge amount of the Sevens, and we have ever since that Olympics back in 2020. And go the box, says Goose. And there too. And we have got there 21 points to 25 to the Pumas. But I want South Africa to win for the Cape Town crowd. Yeah, the crowd are already on their feet, cheering this Blitzboks side as they make their way out onto the park. George Selwood, the referee, is always on South Africa's side, so our chances are good, says Casper. And also we have got their back again. Hi all your rugby freaks, says Wild Lobster there. But both sides, a methodical walk out there onto the field. They don't know what we know, says Play Therapy. They're talking about Ronald Brown also injured for this match. So they have lost not only Tristan Lades, but also Ronald Brown for this leg of the Sevens. It could be brutal, and maybe those are the guys that could make the difference in the later stages. Matter of interest. What is the 1470 after my name? Absolutely no idea, to be fair. I think it's just your @ symbol, so maybe they just added that on for fun, because a lot of other people do seem to have that. The likes of Roof's got 1360. We've got Cobus Vandenberg has gone with 27 points to 17. He's got 7355 is his number afterwards. Do you think in Sevens experience, or also do you think in Sevens experience is not as important as youth? Says on the right, I think it depends on the circumstance because, yes, you can rely on experience quite a bit, but then at what stage do you decide that those guys are getting older and you've got to bring in that next generation? And I'd say that New Zealand are finding it a little bit tricky at the moment. Definitely last season, they were trying to work out, do they keep the experienced heads or do they go with those debutants? They've recently made that change and it started looking a little bit brighter for the Kiwis that time. I feel like South Africa, they're on that new wave of young players. You know, we're no longer seeing Safewe Sawyer's Wapi each and every week. We are seeing guys like a Shilton Van Wyk or a guy like a Donovan Don, who are now the next generation of young players making their way through the rankings. But the Argentine national anthem is just now being sung. Then it will be the South African one in front of the home Cape Town crowd. Then we're ready to go for this contest. A Ranger game between the Blitzboks and other box. It'll be a great to raise money for charity. Says Duncan there. I think it would be tricky to organise just purely because of the amount of time that these other guys, the likes of the Springboks players, they don't get a lot of rest weeks, but I'm sure some of them would be keen to do some sort of thing if they were able to organise it efficiently. Blitzboks 21 to Argentina 7. Says John Daniels there. I bought a beautiful mask in Cape Town Market. Great shopping experience. And yeah, it's been looking like a real nice tourist attraction. The amount of people who are in the stands from all around the world. You see all the different colours on the shirts. And Argentina seems like they got a little bit of support for this Cape Town crowd. So I'm hoping for the upset. South Africa, they do come in as the favourites. They are the defending champions of the Cape Town Sevens. They were in action there last year, beating France in the final. Now the South African national anthem, it is being sung. And then we are ready to go for the Sevens action. But I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, of course, like I said, be sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know your score predictions for this game as well. But MPV's of the emotion on his face. This Cape Town crowd, they will be appreciative of what they've seen from South Africa so far in terms of the passion. Another weekend and no overtime. It looks that way, unless it's this game. We could see these two sides go to extra time here. And 30 points to 26 to South Africa. Says on the right for the prediction. Score is 56-7 for the Blitzboks to win. That's a brutal scoreline. We have got the great weather here in Cape Town. And we have got there a few of these will become Springboks 15s, and I totally agree. How much visit Cape Town when you visit South Africa? Says Pete. And let's go the box in there too. But you can just see how fired up this side is. Like I mentioned, these young players, some of them, this may be their first and maybe even only opportunity to sing the national anthem in front of this home crowd. And just hearing it sung back to you as well, you can see how much it means. David Brits looks like he is trying his best to stay composed, but he has got the veins popping out of his neck at the moment. He is almost just locked in. I guess subscriptions keep moving on up, Hamish. Says DJ in there as well, 33-26 in favour of South Africa. And the big question mark for me in this matchup is going to be the kicking. Both of these sides have actually struggled off of the conversion department. You look so fired up, Hamish. Says Danielle. I'm excited for this game, purely because of the fact that we saw it last week. It was a close fixture. The South Africans, they were defeated up against Argentina last week, which is one that many people wouldn't have been predicting. But now the national anthem's been sung. David Brits needs to remember to take a breath because he was turning bright red and looked like he was about to pass out, just like I do. But this Cape Town Sevens crowd, they are loud, they are proud, and they are ready to go for another match of the Cape Town Sevens. And GB Lando Norris, there's Getzenel, and there as well. And now ready to go, Nick Hogan. He is the referee in charge of this one. This is his 6th cup final. Can I ask a question? You can, Mohadeen. I have no idea what it's going to be, though. What's your score prediction? In my preview, I went 26-24 in favour of South Africa. I said that this would be the game that their kicking comes right, because throughout their other matches, they have actually been a little bit lackluster. Most of the time, the percentage of kicking less than 50%, which is not what you want in this type of final. You want to be getting all those boots over. I mentioned now the strategy from South Africa. They have to run it round to the post, make it easy for the man with the kicking department. We have got, there you go, the Pumas greetings from Mendoza, Argentina. Oh, he's got the South African shirt. Getting the crowd fired up here as well. And now making his way off the field as he swings that shirt around. I'd say that that kid is no older than 3. And he has got the Cape Town Stadium fired up again. And I don't think we've seen a home field advantage like this for any side on the circuit. I want to say in recent times, probably since Cape Town last year, when these two sides were in action. But it is going to be South Africa who will be receiving the kickoff. Argentina going from right to left, and we are underway in the final of the Cape Town Sevens. Beautifully taken by Selvin Davids off the kickoff. And this one has a big match kind of feel. Ricardo James Duarte inside of his 22 goes to Impivesa. Graziano gets fended, but Marcos Maneta finishes off the tackle. Whether the Blitzboks 7 sit, if they win tonight, they will be first equal alongside New Zealand and Fiji. David Brits running it hard, but he is tackled. Ball pops free, picked up by Duarte, but it is the knock on early from South Africa. 30 seconds into this game. And it is going to be the scrum feed now to Los Pumas. They were able to just keep on motoring in their game up against the Fijians. 51% of the time Argentina have won in their finals. 57% of the time South Africa get wins in cup finals. And last year, they were able to do it up against the French. Argentina will convert more tries, but South Africa will score more tries. Says on the right, that's probably a fair assessment. South Africa, like I mentioned, in some of the games, they have gone 1 from 4. They've gone 2 from 5. Marcos Maneta, he's got the nickname Money for a reason, and it is very, very lucky that he is playing in this game due to the injury earlier on. Luciano Gonzalez, what a player for Argentina. They talked about it in the build-up, how they had to shut him down, and they have not done that. He scores his 8th try in Cape Town, and Argentina strike early in this fixture. Like I said, just get it out to Luciano Gonzalez, and he will score tries. He will make those damaging runs. He gets through Shilton Van Wyk as well as Selvin Davids, and the away side strike early in the final, and that is a great kick from Argentina. It has gone through the post, making the score now 7-0 in favour of Los Pumas. Luciano Gonzalez, he is up to 8 tries in this tournament. We see Shilton Van Wyk, he is on 6. Nadovalo in between the two on 7. Gonzalez is dangerous, he sure is. Anytime he gets the ball in hand, like last match, he got a yellow card, came back out onto the field, scored a try within a minute. It's just what he seems to be able to do, but Shilton Van Wyk claiming that one inside of the 22 at the moment for the South Africans. Passed on the outside, Ricardo James Duarte goes to Zane Davids, who does drop that ball. And that is the second simple handling error we have seen from the South Africans. This is uncharacteristic of what they've done throughout the rest of the competition, perhaps feeling a bit of that pressure. I tell you what, Zane Davids will be disappointed there. He normally would catch those 9 times out of 10, if not even a higher percentage than that. And Gonzalez is coming, says Ruth. South Africa chasing their 6th cup title on home soil. It's the headline that just came up. They did also win last year up against the French in the final. They got to meet them in the semis this year and still managed to beat them. The time is back on now. Ball going to be fed in by Pedro De Haro. And nicely going in. Ball is there for Argentina. They get themselves the penalty at scrum time. Quick tap taken. Here comes Santiago Mari. Got himself 2 tries in the last game. Tackled by Selvin Davids, the veteran. Now moving away to the right-hand side. Ball on the inside of Marcos Maneta. Shut down early. Tackled by Zane Davids as well as Shilton Van Wyk. They have to be very careful though, South Africa. You can't have 2 men making tackles too often. Up against this Argentine side, they will find a gap and they will try and exploit it. Here comes Santiago Mari with the offload. Goes to Zane Davids though. Ball stolen by the Blitzboks. And now passed on the outside. Shilton Van Wyk, the try scorer machine. One more to Donovan Don. Graziano, what is he doing? He was looking to, I think, the referee begging for a penalty. It is going to be the try for Donovan Don. What has happened there? Go away, says Nick Hogan. He has pretty much told Argentina to get away from him. They wanted a penalty for I think it was for a forward pass. But Graziano, he needed to keep his head in the game. Play to the whistle is what you are normally told. We're going to see the replay now. Okay, so Graziano was asking for the forward pass. He pulled out because he knew he wasn't catching Donovan Don, but begging the referee for a forward pass to be called. Meanwhile, Donovan Don runs in a try. That kick has gone over, and that is going to make the score now 7-all between these two sides. Just the 2.5 minutes remaining in this first half period. Am I too late to say how Speedy Gonzalez is? Says Mr. Thrib in there. Now slapped back by Argentina. In fact, it might have been knocked on. Here comes Luciano Gonzalez. You have to shut that man down. Selvin Davids, draw and pass on the inside. Gonzalez gives it off to Marcos Maneta. When it's not one of the 2 wonder kids, it's the other. And that is another try for Argentina. Firing straight back between the posts, the ball will go. That's just once again classic Pumas rugby. That is what they were doing all of last year. You see Selvin Davids, he actually covered some decent ground to be able to get there, but then he had 2 men to cover, and then Marcos Moneta just flying through too quick and does get another try. Kick has gone over. Looks like Gonzalez is cramping. And South Africa must shut Gonzalez down. I think that Gonzalez may have shut himself down here. He is trying to stretch out that cramp that he is well and truly feeling in the legs. That man has covered so much ground throughout the last little while. His legs are hardly working the way that he is jogging back to the halfway line. Right. Okay, they are making a sub now. It looks like Ryan Oosterhuizen. He will make his way onto the field here for the South Africans, and that is due to the switch that needs to be made. I think that's going to be for Zane Davids. No, it's David Brits. It's a massive shame for him. He was so passionate during the national anthem. We've seen him touch the ball once, and other than that, he's just had to defend. Ricardo James Duarte went up to touch the ball. He might have got a fingertip on that one. And if he has, this is going to be a line-out opportunity for Argentina. They are going to be checking. No, in fact, Argentina do get themselves the line-out. An unsuccessful grabbing at the ball from the Blitzboks. And come on, the Pumas, fill up my piggy bank. Says Casper Olakiwi, says Emioros. Hopefully I said that correctly. Welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. Blitzboks must get their focus back. Yeah, this is becoming a very crucial part of this game. All overthrown, taken back by South Africa, 40 seconds remaining in the half. Selvin Davids goes across to the right-hand side. Shilton van Wyk sends it on to Donovan Don, cutting in with what a tackle that is on Shilton van Wyk. Marcos Moneta trying to get the steal, can't quite do it. Impifisa goes across to Oosterhuizen, 30 seconds remaining of this first half period. Ball on the inside from Ricardo James Duarte, shut down now by Dahora. Was Dahoro, in fact, I should say. The Kiwi lead is supporting Argentina. I see the t-shirt. They're now going off to the right-hand side. Pace shown. Ball on the outside. Selvin Davids. One-on-one with Moneta. Both men fell over. But another step from Davids. Oh, and it's a drop ball from Donovan Don. He wasn't expecting it. It's a knock-on from both sides to end the half. And the score still sits in favour of the Argentines. This one, 14 points to 7 in front of the home crowd, who haven't really been a huge factor in this match as of yet, I have to say. Seems like South Africa, there are nerves. They're feeling maybe even more pressure than they would if this game was overseas. In front of a home crowd, trying to make that impact. It's just not quite happening yet in this contest. And they come in now as $3.40 underdogs for the second half. The South Africans, tough South Africa first half. It is, but they're not out of this game. We know what South Africa can do. We saw them do it earlier on in this competition up against the Fijians. They were down by 9. They came back to win that game in the closing moments. Don't make excuses for the Boks, says Big Rig. I mean, handling probably is the biggest issue for South Africa at the moment. I think defensively they haven't been too bad. At the end of the day, no one's been shutting down Luciano Gonzalez. That man's got 8 tries throughout this competition. Marcos Moneta, he's not a mile away from being in second. Pumas are the best. And good point, Hamish. Good point, Hamish, is the Pumas shirt done on purpose? It is not at all. It's just one of the only shirts that I decided to... Like, that's the thing. I don't often wear a t-shirt on a live stream. Normally, you guys would see me in a hoodie, but it's too warm to wear a hoodie. So I just, it's just a shirt I had on. Nothing specific. I probably got some green on as well, to be fair. So that evens out. You guys just can't see the green because it's on the shorts. We have got there Hamish as in his fair Puma t-shirt. And Pumas are the best. They're playing very well. And it's as if that loss to Spain actually fired them up that little bit more. The Blitzboks, though, they are undefeated at this stage of the Cape Town Sevens. They have not suffered a loss as of yet. And I can tell you right now, they have no shape or form of planning on doing it in a final. Pumas need to give Hamish some remuneration. Is that how you say that word? That's a hard word, to be fair. And yeah, you're right, very rare to see any branding. Says Rory, yeah, normally it's just generic hoodies and whatnot. Or the shirt and ties the other time where I don't have a hoodie on. But no, it's just getting hot at this time of the year, so it's t-shirt weather. Wow, my heart is pounding. I know how quickly things can change, and it is going to be kicked off by South Africa. Ready to go for the second half, ladies and gentlemen. And what has been an intense final so far. It's only one big moment away from completely either opening up for the Pumas, not back. by Argentina. And Luciano Gonzalez breaks through the tackle with Shilton Van Wyk. It took 3 Blitzboks to be able to drag him down. Asking for the penalty. They aren't going to receive it as Nick Hogan says you are holding the man in there. Now back across to the right-hand side. Argentina in position again. Graziano has the option to pass it on the inside. Goes to Marcos Moneta. He gets around one. Selvin Davids trying to chase him down. This is pure pace from Moneta. Oh my goodness. What a run from the speedster. He has just cut through the South African defence better than I think I've seen anyone do in recent times. He had about 3 players in front of him, and he still found a way of just running on an angle that made the Blitzboks look like they were stuck in quicksand. Gets round Ricardo James Duarte. Had Selvin Davids, Ryan Oosthuizen and Zane Davids, and he just cuts the gap through them like merging in traffic on a busy highway. Marcos Moneta carving his way through and scoring the try. So Festive says Danielle, and ouch, that one was, definitely not the one that South Africa wanted early on in this half. But Marcos Moneta, he moves up to 164 tries in total. And Gonzalez is like a ghost. Lost Pumas will get lost. Go the Bok. So here's Jacob. And there as well, but that kick has missed. Still remaining 6 minutes on the clock. Down by 12 for the Blitzboks. And a drop ball from Selvin Davids, but this time it goes backwards. Ryan Oosthuizen trying to get that possession. Now going back across again. Shilton Van Wyk inside of his 22. Passes it out wide. Good hands from Impi Vesa. That has been the part of the game so far for the South Africans that has let them down throughout this contest, is the amount of drop ball that they have had. But here come the Blitzboks back across to the right hand side. This could be where they fire back into it. It's the debutant who cuts through the young man off of the bench. His name is Songwabo Sekoye. And he scores the try in the most perfect time for the South Africans as they fire straight back into this game. It is far from over. But I can tell you right now, South Africa, they will be glad to be within 7, as that means that it's anyone's game as this one goes on. We are about to do the impossible, says Katzenau. And just as you say that, the try is scored by the South Africans. And come on the Blitzboks, says Vanita there. And also we have got there, yes, says Goose. And come on the Bok lad, says Cape Tonian. Yes, the Bok, says Jacob. So that kick has gone over. And we're back to a level playing field. The game at the moment, they say, is $1.85 per team in terms of the betting odds. Back within touching distance, they have called it for the Boks. The crowd behind them at Cape Town. South Africa, have they got it left in the gas tank to cause an upset? From where it was sitting, that's a knock on from Argentina. And the Boks now have themselves the scrum feed. The momentum has changed in the second half. They are starting to feel it. And 4 minutes remaining. Argentina starting to make those sloppy errors that we saw from South Africa in the first half. And let's go to the Blitzboks, says Craig there. Come on, the Blitzboks, says Bruce. Now we have got their Bok getting through the Pumas. And our own Katzenau has resorted back to speaking Spanish by the looks of it. We'll translate that one later. And we have got their Fijians. And also come on the Blitzboks. It's in your DNA, says Lawrence. Right, referee just telling the man to get it up. Of course, in a different context, that sounds a little bit dodgy. But in this context, he's talking about the scrums. Crowd will be loving this change of momentum. They absolutely are. And it could be because of this crowd that the change of momentum is happening. Because the Cape Town locals, they are wanting to see back-to-back titles for their side. Ball comes out for Ricardo James Duarte. They get themselves the penalty at scrum time. Now, Selvin Davids. He's got Shilton Van Wyk on the outside. Now going to him. He has so much pace. One more pass. Giving it to the young man out on the wing. Great step from Sekoye. But he's going to be driven backwards by Argentina about 5 or so meters. Bit of a counter-ruck from Santiago Mauri. They're told to get out of it. But they are only 10 metres out from the line now for the South Africans. 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Oosthuizen passes to absolutely no one, but Selvin Davids is there and ready to take the ball. They lose about 15 metres in the process there. The Blitzboks, and another penalty awarded in favour of South Africa. Shilton Van Wyk takes the quick tap, goes almost through the gap. There was a last-ditch tackle made, and Argentina are on the ball. Another penalty going against the Pumas to get them penalised out of this final at this point in time, and South Africa have to capitalise. It's all well and good having penalty after penalty, but eventually they either need that yellow card going against Argentina, or they do need to find a way of scoring with just the 2 minutes remaining on the clock. And I believe There is a sub that is about to be made, but they are also calling for the scrum, the Blitzboks. It is a set piece that they have gone to time and time again. When I heard Hamish, I thought he was broke. Or when I first heard Hamish, I thought he was broke, as in like money-wise, or as in like just, but was Bok. I think that is from DJ. And defending says Ruth, this is where Argentina can either win this final or lose it. South Africa, they are currently sitting $4.20 underdogs in this contest. You have to wonder whether or not that is before or after the scrum has taken place. The ball is about to be fed in by Ricardo James Duarte. Stolen at scrum time by Argentina. That is a massive one. And here comes Luciano Gonzalez making 30 metres from where that ball was. But that is a huge turnover. It is not often you see a scrum turned over in sevens, let alone one taken that cleanly. But now Marcos Moneda, 100 seconds remaining on the clock. He bumps out of one challenge, taken down by Cristi Hrobela. One try here for Argentina, I believe, would almost win them this game. But if they end up conceding, could be a whole different story. If South Africa score a try and don't convert, we go to golden point time. In this game, Marcos Moneda, the ball in his hands on the outside. He drops a big collision with the Blitzboks, who now have 1 minute 20 on the clock to get an attack going. Spin from Ricardo James Duarte. They cannot drop this ball now. Oosthuizen cutting back in with De Schulten. Fun fake. He almost goes through. Passed on the outside. Cristi Hrobela. He's going to run it round as much as he can, and he will score the try in between the post. Easy win for Argentina, says Mr. Rich, as they go down with 40 seconds remaining on the clock. But now the Blitzboks, that may be the moment that they needed to walk away with the title. It is straight out in front of the post. They are able to use up as many seconds as they want to a certain extent. 32 remaining on the restart clock, 30 seconds remaining on the clock in general. And just taking the wind out of the sails of Los Pumas at the moment. Now, they have to remember to still take the kickoff in time, because if they don't, it will be a free kick in favour of Argentina. But with 20 seconds remaining, it means that the Blitzboks are leading for what I want to say is the first time in this contest. But I guess it doesn't matter if you're leading throughout the rest of the game. All you need to lead for is the final moment, and you can be a champion. That's gone out on the full from South Africa. The tail of the tape is still going. A kick too big from Donovan Don, and it gives the opportunity to Argentina on the halfway line to go for the scrum. What a game, says Danielle. It has been absolutely insane between these two sides, and I feel like Singapore is going to be no different. It is less, or just over a month away, in fact. But now here comes the quick tap on the halfway line for Argentina. Next try wins, or next turnover will win it for South Africa. That is a huge shot from Ryan Oosthuizen. Ball is there again for the Argentines. Graziano, there's hesitation from Los Pumas. Now Ricardo James Duarte on the ball, gets the penalty for the Blitzboks, and they will win it in Cape Town. Back-to-back champions for the Cape Town Sevens in front of the home crowd. The atmosphere is insane. They've let off fireworks, and that is the victory now for the South African side. And no, says Sweet Pete in there, but that is the win. It is, now they grubber it into touch, and that is now the win. South Africa firing back. I mentioned about it, just like they did up against the Fijians. They were down, but they were not out. They come back, they win it, and now they are champions. The Blitzboks. You can see how much it means to the side. There are a couple guys out there who are the walking wounded. They have had injury after injury throughout this campaign. We saw no Tristan Legs. We saw no Ronald Brown. We saw an Oosthuizen now down on a knee, looking absolutely exhausted. Marcos Moneda looks like he needs a bit of water from how hard he has run out there on the field. Luciano Gonzalez having brilliant moments, but the Blitzboks as a whole, who would have thought it? They got the kicks over. Every other game, accuracy less than 50%, but in the game that it mattered, they had the accuracy of 100%, and that is what won them this Cape Town Sevens final. But nonetheless, ladies and gents, thank you all very much for tuning in. She's been a little bit of a hectic game, if I'm being honest with you, but we have still got plenty more action happening just around the corner. And the next game that we are covering on the channel it is kicking off in the very near future. That is the match between the Sharks and Toulouse. Now, that game may not be as close, as the Sharks are considered as massive underdogs heading into that fixture, but we are still going to cover it on the channel as well. Tries under the poles, it made the difference. I mentioned about it in the preview, just taking that little bit more effort to run it around, to make it an easier kick for Sullivan Davids, and that is what helped win them this game. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all in about 2 minutes' time for that next live stream between the Sharks and also Toulouse.